Okay, once you're logged into Tinkercad, this might look a little different on everybody's screen, but that's okay. If you want to be signed into your own Tinkercad account, and then I want you to go here to Code Blocks. Once you're in Code Blocks, you can click the Create New Code Blocks. This is what we're going to be playing with, and it does take a second to move. I'm asking you to create either redesign a table, a chair, or a wastebasket. So you'll see for a table they already have a sample here for you, so it might be a little easier if you want to challenge yourself a chair. You can even redesign one of our trash cans in the classroom. I'm going to go ahead and just open up table for right now. And when you use one of the pre-done shapes, you're going to see that it gives you a base already. Now what's really cool is I can quickly, like with what it gave me, I can go ahead and hit play, and we're going to see it go through the steps. So we made a table, and then it hollowed it out. So we end up with a tabletop and bottom. But here I can play with all of these different pieces. So if I want my leg size, I'm going to make my leg size wider. Move that up to a 10. Okay, and here you're seeing it's adding and taking from up above. So I just moved the 10, put it in there, and I'm going to play it again. See, now our leg is much, much wider. So using simple changes like that, I can play with how the table is going to be shaped. Wider legs, skinnier legs, so just to much smaller legs here. What I want you to do is really think about what will make either a table, if you want to take it to a chair. Remember, you could take this table piece and just add a back to it. It would give you a base chair. But I want you to play with all these different designs and think about what would really make a table in our classroom more effective. Should the legs be thinner? Should they be thicker? What about height? And remember, these right now, if we want to think about these, we can make a scale as a class for what width of 55, what that would mean in, if we were talking about being able to print these full size, even though right now we're talking about miniature. Down here, if you want to play with any of this, you'll notice that if I try to click here to change the width, I need to come back up here. So here, if I want to change the width, I'm going to take my width to 70, because that should be enough that we see a big change. So it made our table much wider. Think about if our table's too narrow, are they too wide? I want you to, we're going to have some time each day that you can just kind of come in, and I want you to tweak, talk to a friend, maybe talk to 2 friends, maybe start by talking to a friend and then talk to other people. You could add to this. So just because they already have this, maybe we all have name tags on our table. Is there a way we should be able to put the name tags on the table? Where should they go on the table? I want you to really think about playing with this. Start with a table. If you have extra time, you're welcome to try a chair too. But I want you to be able to think about why you made the changes you made. Like I'm looking at this one and I'm thinking a chair, a leg of width of 2 is probably way too skinny. So I'm going to put it back. I think it was at 6 at the beginning. I'm going to go to a 5. But I also want to notice when I made this wider, it changed up here. So that's something I need to think about. Is there a way to play with that? So this is a great, easy way to use these pre-made. Now, it gets more complicated if we start adding other things. So I'm going to go ahead and add another thing. Remember, right here is that play button if you need to watch, see it build. I'm going to just add a tube, like a trash can. Okay, so I want to see where it puts it first. And now I have this tube underneath. So if we're thinking about, do we want a stool in the classroom? I could change this, make this into my stool by changing that height, right? Now it's at 2.5. I want to look at my table height. If it's a stool, you want your stool just shorter than a table, so it has you lift it up. So if I put it at height of 40, and then I can replay. Does my stool still fit underneath my table? So see, I did that wrong. So if I'm going to leave it at 10 there. So I should have changed my sides, I believe. Let's see when I change that where we get to. And this is all you really need to do is sit and play with it, really. Design. Okay, so now I have kind of a stool. If I wanted a stool to go with my table instead of a traditional chair. And I can see it fits underneath the table because of where it's putting it. Other things that you can do. You can move objects. So if I wanted to move it out so it wasn't under the table, I could put it at my X10 and my Y10. I'm going to leave it at my Z0 so it's on that same plane. So here we go. And then so that's this, and I move the table. So I want to. So this is where you got to really look at it, play it through. I would really recommend play your steps before you. Okay, so now let's see how this comes out. Build my table. Here's my stool, and it moved my stool. And I'd really have to count this, so I probably want like X 100, and I'm going to go Y 100. So this is just how you can move things on that plane. It does take some time. You got to think about how small each of this grid is. So say my 100 was too much, I over jumped. It's off on the side now. There we go. It's way over here. So there is definitely a skill to it. Feel free, remember, pause as you go. And then these are all the kind of controls. So that's kind of a quick basic overview. This moving piece is really important if you're making more than one thing. I'd love to see you first play with this, and then if you want to try to build something on your own, would be a great step. If you have questions, come talk to me in person, and I'm happy to help all of you. Good luck!